The National Insurance Publicity Subcommittee has rolled out a 3-year strategic action plan for the insurance industry. The main thrust of the committee is to rebrand the insurance industry in Nigeria. At a news briefing, the Vice Chairman of the Publicity Subcommittee for the Insurance Sector, Ebere Nwachukwu, highlighted the mandate of the committee, which includes changing the perception and mindset of the public about insurance practice.
Members of the Insurance Publicity Subcommittee, alongside the regulators, are here to roll out a 3-year strategic action plan to reposition the insurance industry to improve on its service delivery. The theme for this gathering is rebranding insurance.
The insurance industry serves the economy. We make sure that people get back into business, children get back into school, families don't suffer. We do a lot to support every sector of the economy, and we want to begin to tell our stories and let people know exactly what we stand for.
Another mandate of the Insurance Committee is to standardize insurance practice in line with market demands and to create awareness on the role of insurance in stimulating economic growth.
So once you go in one insurance company, you are likely to get what you get in the next insurance company as well.
We have 180 million people. Our penetration is so low. So low. If you can even go probably 1% penetration, increase in penetration, it's humongous. Because we have the people.
And it was a general consensus that with the current recapitalization exercise, insurance companies should be able to settle claims.
We're all committed as the insurance industry to make this a success, to make sure that the individuals that begin to insure with us get the full benefit of insurance.
Out of the resolution meetings, if you are advised to settle, we give them days within which, 30 days within which to resolve all issues. If it's not resolved, we have the right to take them out of being our member. The logo NIA is very precious. Every company wants to have it on their letterhead. And so once it's resolved, people go ahead and pay.
With the flag off of the Insurance Strategic Action Plan, the Insurance Committee is making a firm promise to those that are yet to sign in to get insured adequately and get covered.
Time for the business news of the day. Here is Olumide Macaulay.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria today approved the reduction of the rate at which it sells dollars to bureau de change operators in the country. With this approval, BDC operators are now to buy the dollar from the CBN at the rate of 357 naira per dollar and sell at 360 naira, thereby leaving them with a positive margin of 3 naira per dollar sold. CBN spokesman Mr. Isaac Okorafor says the decision is aimed at giving BDCs a level playing field to enable them compete favorably with other authorized foreign exchange dealers. It will be recalled that the central bank in March 2017 released a forex policy under which it directed licensed BDCs in the country to purchase forex from it at 360 naira to a dollar and sell to customers at not more than 362 naira per dollar. In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria, in its first forex sale for the month of June, has supplied the sum of $100 million to dealers in the wholesale segment of the interbank foreign exchange market to meet the request of end users. A breakdown of the amount shows that the financial regulator sold the sum of $55 million each to customers in the small and medium enterprises window, as well as those in the investable segment. The suspended Director General of the Nigerian Stock Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Munir Gwazo, today filed charges against the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Minister of Finance, and the Attorney General of the Federation before the National Industrial Court in Abuja, challenging his suspension. Mr. Gwazo, who was suspended from office on the 27th of November over alleged financial misappropriation, is seeking the court to determine whether the Minister of Finance has the power to suspend him as Director General, an appointment made by the President of Nigeria and confirmed by the Senate. His counsel, Abdul Hakim Mustafa, says the suspended SEC DG is also seeking a court order reinstating him as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission and payment of all his entitlements, emoluments, allowances, and other prerequisites for the entire period he was under suspension. Now, after 11 consecutive days of losses, Nigeria's equities market made a moderate comeback at the close of today's trading session, despite heavy losses from the industrial goods sector.
Welcome to Stock Market Report. Price recovery from Tier 1 bank stocks as well as oil and gas bellwethers helps Nigeria's stock market kick off the first trading week in June in the green. The all-share index ended Monday's trading session with a moderate 0.37% rebound, while the equities capitalization notched up 48 billion naira, its first gain after almost a 2-week free fall. Similarly, investors' appetite for stocks was impressive for the start of the new month, as over 314 million shares changed hands in more than 6,000 transactions, driven by the shares of GT Bank, Sovereign Trust, and FBN Holdings. The price list recorded 21 equities apiece, with Japol, Custodian, and Eternal Oil as top 3 gainers, while Owando, Cadbury, and PZ Customs ended as top 3 losers for the day. With that is on the Stock Market Report, I'm Uche Alauku.
Finally, it's a positive start in the month for most of the world's leading stock markets on Monday, particularly on Wall Street, where the Nasdaq posted a record close led by shares of Apple and Amazon. However, it's mixed performances for some of Africa's major bourses. That's it on Business News. It's back to Ladi for the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks, Olumide. As part of efforts to boost tourism in Nigeria, the federal government has tested the visa on arrival policy on the country on delegates of the 61st meeting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Regional Commission for Africa, holding in Abuja. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, while delivering his welcome address at the event, said many of the delegates at the event received their visas on arrival in the country.
One of the major, obstacles in developing tourism in Nigeria, I think, is probably our mental attitude to tourism. The fact that we really don't, we have not come to realize how much tourism can actually help our economy, and that is why we are drawing up this awareness that many countries depend on tourism for survival. And I'm happy to say that this government in particular has taken the necessary steps to ensure that tourism becomes a major foreign earner and a major contribution to the economy. You see, you need massive infrastructure development for tourism to thrive. And as you know, in the last 2 years alone, this government has spent about 1.3 trillion naira every year. It's about, in the last 2 years, we spent about $9 billion on infrastructure, on roads, on railways, on power, on airports. And we see without this infrastructure development, you cannot have tourism development. And I'm happy to say that it's paying off. I think the government's policy also in respect of visa on arrival has also helped to really make it easier for tourists to come here.